Oh boy, it's time. It's time. I wonder if there's even anybody out there. Anybody else out there hanging out, doing whatever it is they're going to be doing? What's going on? Hold up. It's time to start this jam. Oh, well, hello there, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Griftcast IRL. I'll be your host today. My name's Manuel Chavez III, or the Turd, depending on how you know me. Anyways, hopefully you're doing very well this evening, today, and stuff, whatever. Hopefully you're doing very well. Hold on, I need to make another version of my chat thing over here. So, right there. Yeah, it's a Tuesday. Just another Tuesday, but today's already been an interesting Tuesday. I had to do the stream a little bit earlier today because I got to work tonight or whatever in a bank. I'm doing a bank heist, so, I figured might as well do this earlier and talk about it, right? Okay, maybe it's not a bank heist. Nobody called the police or whatever. I'm just changing some computers at a bank. Chill the fuck out. Chill out. But today is not about me. Today's episode is about something completely different. I mean, wow. I've been meaning to make content on this because ever since Steven Crowder had that $50 million Daily Wire contract that he called a slave contract, and he was exposing Big Con and all that other bullshit, when he was exposing conservative media and all of that other crap. Well, guess what? It's all starting to come back up again. Yep. It is all starting to come back up again. However, new information has been brought to the table, and I guess we're just going to have to kind of go up over all of it. Maybe we're going to work backwards to forwards or whatever, but shit, man. I mean, there's just been a lot going on here that I wasn't privy to. I don't think a lot of people were privy to, but I mean, everybody knows my feeling on the Crowderness is that, I guess Steven Crowder's cool. Maybe I'm just a hater. I don't think he's really that funny or whatever. I've always found him to be somewhat of a fake conservative, an individual that isn't, tuning up on a Tuesday. Got your girl CQZ. It's going up. God damn it. Damn you, mass genocide. It's in my head now. So, yeah. Crowder wishes the law in Texas made it so his wife was not allowed to divorce him. Yeah, probably. That's probably what he hopes for or whatever. And I mean, I'm not here to make fun of Steven Crowder or whatever, even though I'm going to anyway. I make fun of everybody equally. I don't like nobody. If I'm not the guy with all the followers and shit, I could give a shit. But even then, even when I was that big, I'm sure people are going to come out of the woodwork and talk hella shit about me. But yes, today we're talking about Crowder. We're going to talk about Dave Landau. We're going to talk about this weird situation that has come forward, and everybody's kind of telling me the differences and trying to give me the business or whatever. And here's where we're going to start. This is a tweet that was sent out by Anomaly. He says, Steven Crowder drops news on Rumble Video that he's going through a divorce and basically accuses Candace Owens of extorting him and hints that he might be taking legal action if anyone discussing his divorce in a way that he deems too far. Well. It's going up on a Tuesday. Well, damn it! I gotta look up the words now. Lyrics. Mass genocide. Why do you gotta do this to me? It's got the club going up on a Tuesday. Got your girl in the cut and she choosy. Club's going up on a Tuesday. Okay, you got it now? You get it? Do you got it now? God. Took me like 2 seconds to Google that. Anyways, song's still pretty good. What happened to that guy? I don't know. Doesn't matter though. This isn't a show about him. Yeah. I think people are probably very torn on this, Scroats McGoats. I'm torn on this because like everybody likes Crowder and they like Mud Club. I'm a fucking hater, so I don't like anybody. So, but like I don't want to like hit it the wrong way or whatever, but there's a lot out there. Okay, there's a lot out here. There's a lot of stuff that you need to look at, and you guys are probably going to be even more confused by the end of this. And you know what? That's fine. That's what the show's all about. Confusion. And sometimes making money.
I have been living with a proverbial boot on my
proverbial
neck for going
boot?
on years now.
Going on years?
How
many?
2021, I've been
2021?
living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say
That
in the
sucks,
outset
bro.
to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas,
Meatball, he does look like he's been juicing. He does look like he's been
experience
juicing.
in my life. What I consider
Look
to
at him.
be
He's like fucking.
my deepest personal failure. And just so you know, my opinions on parenting and
Gotta
families
lose my titties.
have not changed.
You got that
I've
much
always
jiggle in
believed
your
that
titties, bitch?
Children need a mom
Probably
and a
not.
dad, that divorce
You're
is horrible.
jealous. I know it. I can hear it.
And I still believe that children need a mom and a dad and that divorce is horrible. But in today's legal system, my beliefs don't matter.
Damn.
In Texas, divorce is permitted when one party wants it, period. So for
Period.
well over a year,
That's right. Right.
well over a year, in the best
Right to
interest,
divorce or whatever.
as well as physical safety of my children, we've decided to keep this issue private and to resolve it privately with the appropriate attorneys, what have you, legal jargon. And in all this, one thing I want to be really clear about is certain. True north here is that my children are blameless, completely without fault, and so we decided to resolve these issues privately.
Okay. So starting off, yeah, that's probably like a huge little bombshell. Like, I did not know that that was a situation or a thing that was happening. I don't know if this was after his dog died CV or not. I'm just kind of like surprised at this, although I shouldn't be so surprised because according to our friend Tree of Logic, this has been something that's been out there since 2021 that we've actually had some evidence for about him getting a divorce. So I will just switch over to the Unicourt. And yes, in the managers of the marriage of Hillary Crowder and Steven Crowder in the interests of Magnus Crowder and Charlotte Crowder, the children. And yes, there it is right there. Yeah, it's been out there. The court filing has been a real thing that's been searchable, and it's been pending since looks like December 7th of 2021 out of the Denton County Courthouse, and it is being overseen by Judge Mary Shipman. And as you can see, yes, the petitioner is Hillary Crowder, the respondent is Steven Crowder, and it looks like only one party associated, the petitioner, Hillary Crowder, actually seems to have an attorney. Steven Crowder, throughout his entirety of the case, it seems, hasn't actually had a lawyer. But to be perfectly clear, there's not a lot of information, court documents available for the cases or whatever. But yeah, this is definitely some kind of like weird shits. Yeah. So who knows? But Trump won. Yes. Okay. So I think that first off, we shouldn't be making fun of the guy. You know, I'm not here to make fun of the guy, although I'm probably going to end up making fun of the guy anyway because I'm an asshole. So that's how it is. But it does seem kind of sad that this has been going on. And I mean, that's a pretty protracted divorce, man. Don't they usually try to wrap these things up in like a year? We're going on nearly 2 years, maybe even 3 years almost. And they still haven't gotten any type of fix on the situation. Usually divorce is pretty easy, right? Like you hire a lawyer, the other person hires a lawyer, you go through a protracted, hellacious court experience, and then you guys get separated. But I don't really think that there's anything here for us to understand about, right? Like there could be some huge differences. There could be some diagnosis. CV saying that him and his wife lost a set of twins. So, but I don't know if there's any, I haven't really seen too much of anything about that online about it, but there has been some updates to the case. There has been, like some information that has been put forward, but like other than that, that's all we really have on that particular situation. So, it seems a little bit strange that Crowder is deciding to kind of put this forward right now. I would have figured that he would have done it maybe a year ago, half a year ago. I guess he could put his kids out there and say he doesn't want to get them, in a bad situation. But it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like that's actually what's truly happening here. So let's just continue listening to what he has to say.
As it's in their best interests, both emotionally and physically, to do so. Now, the other issue is, and this is something that I've kept private for likely far too long, many other people knew about this.
Many other people?
Some, not all, but some of them in positions of power,
Positions of power? Influence?
Leverage, knew of this.
What?
They also knew that the safety of my children included keeping it private. So if you're familiar with the idea of extortion, then you know the feeling well. Now, some of these threats were so thinly veiled that I'm frankly surprised you didn't all guess immediately.
What?
Stephen has a lot
Candace Owens?
I guess is the best way to say it. He has a lot going on, and that should be clear because people don't do stuff like this if there's not a lot going on in their lives. I would like to implore my audience and everybody that isn't paying attention to this situation not to condemn him, but to pray for him. Sometimes people need a prayer. Sometimes people need a scripture.
January 24th, 2023, huh? So that goes back to the far-right blowhard calls $50 million Daily Wire offer a slave contract. They're trying to make me a slave for the Daily Wire. What, dude? Seriously? What? Well, yeah, think about this. So there was rumors of his divorce last year, even though people have known that the divorce has been happening since 2021 or at the end of 2021, to be perfectly clear. Nobody brought this up. During the Daily Wire situation, even during the Dave Landau situation. It seems that Steven Crowder himself is the one that brought it up and brought it to everybody's ears and eyeballs, so to speak. Just to be clear, right? Like during the entire time that Rolling Stone and everybody else was having a little way with him and the Daily Wire having their little beefathon, we never saw anything about that, right? Like even Jeremy from the Daily Wire didn't seem to mention anything about that. And it seems like it might have been something he could have mentioned if he really wanted to, win the fight in such a way that would piss some people off. But here we are. Nobody talked about it. Why did nobody talk about it? Nobody was trying to be a dick about it, right? Nobody wanted to throw it into his face because they knew that it was a problem for him. So I just wanted to make it perfectly, clearly, abundantly clear that he's the one that brought this shit up and he's the one that everybody's talking about it. If nobody fucking brought it up, nobody would be talking about it, okay? Just to be clear. Nobody would be talking about it if he didn't bring it up. Copy that. So, Crowder has been in a situation, I would have to say, is that, has been kind of shitty, right? It'd be a little crappy for just about anybody to be a part of a divorce, but it seems as of recently, he's been trying to do a whole lot and getting exposed. Like, I was very clear that I think what he did with the Daily Wire was one of the worst moves that he probably could have done in his career, calling the Daily Wire big con. Really? That was your big move, dude? You showed everybody that you were greedy and you thought you were worth a lot more money than you were actually worth? Get the fuck out of here, man. And he did all of that shit. And at the very same time, he was entirely looking to screw over his business partner / guy that was a co-host on his show because he didn't want that dude to be more bigger than him. And then we roll into this, and he's trying to bring something back. He's trying to bring us back to the Daily Wire. He's trying to change the narrative about what happened with Dave Landau in order to save himself. So he's outing his divorce and then basically saying, oh, Candace Owens was going to extort me, and it's all part of this nefarious plot that the fucking Daily Wire did when they tried to give me $50 million to be their slave. Do you see what's going on here? Like, I find it, like, do I really like the Daily Wire? No, I don't. Right? I think some of their shit's funny or whatever, but they probably like me as much as I like them, which is not a lot. So that's fine. I usually just match people's energy on that type of shit, right? And, you know, Steven Crowder doesn't really like me, but he doesn't really hate me, so I don't really like him, but I don't really hate him either. I just think that what he's doing right now is definitely not good for his overall shit. I think that now he thinks he's the big boy. He's the big guy. He's the big man in the castle now. I'm the Rumble King. And I just feel like it's not a good idea for him to be doing this sort of thing right now. And definitely not a great idea to get Candace Owens back on your ass like this, because she's going to be, I'm pretty sure she's already on a live stream, to be honest.
Stephen purports to be a Christian. I am unsure at this moment if it is my place to say more than that. You know, maybe if I feel in further defense, some things should be said, or maybe if I feel that the public has a right to understand certain circumstances.
Oh, yeah, that's what the public's
right
doing.
To privacy.
My
now,
children.
Some
my children.
Other, issues
my children
have been, or I should say...
Interesting. So, wait a minute. Throughout that entire video, I didn't hear Candace Owens make any threats or anything like that. I heard that her say that she was going to pray for him and that he needed to worry about himself and stopped acting out, being a dumbass and not taking $50 million. Maybe there's a reason, guys. Hey, guys, wait a minute. If he's been getting divorced since 2021, maybe $50 million wasn't going to be enough because he was going to be having to split it with his ex-wife, soon-to-be ex-wife. Maybe he was trying to get more money out of the Daily Wire because he figured, hey, if I get them to pay me $120 million, I'll still get the $50 million, and then my wife will get the $50 million, and it'll be all great. And all these dumb motherfuckers on the internet are gonna get behind me, and I'm gonna smoke my big stogies and drink my Louder with Crowder mugs, and everybody's gonna not get it, and I'm gonna be big on Rumble, and it's gonna be great. Yeah. You see where this is going? You see that? It's about my it's about my kids.
Inferences have been more pernicious behind.
Don't worry, V. We're gonna get Candace Owens in our life.
The scene.
I need some Candace Owens in my life. I know people don't like her or whatever. So she did some shitty things or whatever. She's still fun.
Demands and threats to use this information that they believe would be so publicly embarrassing to me and my wife at a difficult time that it could be used, knowingly putting my children in harm's way. So to those self-styled Christians, conservatives, and allies, well, not in my book. Now, if you find yourself, I don't want to get into details. So
not your allies?
Going to likely be the only time I have to.
Wait a minute. Likely the only time that you're going to have to address it? I feel like that's probably wrong there, Steven. I'm pretty sure they're going to probably make you do this. And stop being a crybaby. Nobody's dragging your fucking kids into this. Candace Owens didn't drag your kids into this. You dragged your kids into this because you started talking about them and you started talking about the divorce that nobody knew about. That was you, not anybody else. In no world is anybody going to see that differently unless they're, you know, like fucking high.
To address this or want to address this. If you're asking yourself, hey, did X person or did Y person know? The answer is likely yes.
Did X person know? Did Y person know?
Alarmingly clear as this process of discovery continues.
Discovery?
And it also, by the way, makes me that much more appreciative of those who did know about this and in understanding the best interests of my family, my children, kept their word and used discretion. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, I appreciate it. Won't forget it.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's pretty simple.
You're welcome.
Loved a woman so much that I married her. A woman who, despite all of this, I still love as the mother of my children.
Hey, where's my fucking
And she wanted
juice?
something else for her life. That's not my choice. She simply wanted out, and the law says that that's how it works. Now, of course, look, I get it. There are multiple sides to every story, but one thing that is undeniable in this case is that it's no one's fault but my own in that I picked wrong, and that's certainly not the fault of my children. And I will say that what's in the best interest of my children is not internet drama, speculation, certainly not blatant or veiled shakedowns or dragging their father or mother, and I can't be clear on that enough, or their mother through the mud. And to anyone who tries it, I'm no longer going to pacify, capitulate.
Like, did he really say I picked wrong? Did he really say, unfortunately, the law allows her to divorce me? If it was up to me, I would force her to stay married with me forever because that's what the religious law is. Holy fuck, man. Like, what is going on with this dude?
Capitulate or sidestep because I love them a whole lot more than I love you. And I will continue to do whatever is necessary to protect my children. Discussing the divorce any further on social media or on this show or in any public space is not what's best for them. I'll be handling this through the proper legal avenues and channels available as a matter of record in which I have more than full confidence.
What's up, F-bombs?
So that's how you understand the need for and respect our privacy
Jews.
in what is obviously a pretty tough time.
I said for
and I
juice.
hope that none of this has to go any further than that.
Yeah. Well, the fact that you just did all this, Mr. Crowder, means that it's probably all going to go further than this, but nobody's going to be attacking your children. I mean, this isn't about your children. It's only going to be about you. I don't even see anybody talking shit about your ex-wife or whatever. I mean, okay, I got some people saying, oh, she's trying to get the fucking Crowder money. She's trying to get them club dollars. I've seen that, but yeah, as Barack Obama says in the Rumble chat, it sounds like he wants Sharia law from his fucking wife. The fuck? Is Steven Crowder Muslim? Is Steven Crowder Muslim? If he is, I never picked that up. I never did. Seems kind of a little fucking crazy. Yeah. And you know, what it gets weirder is that if this has been going on for so long, he says that there hasn't been any infidelity. His wife asked for a no-fault divorce or whatever. Could she be asking for a no-fault divorce because she doesn't want to out him as being a gay dude? Because that's something that I've heard from a few different people over the years, that Steven Crowder might be a little bit of a fagler. Which I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with people being gay or whatever. If you want to be gay, if you want to fuck butt or whatever, you know, that's your fucking business, man. Just don't bring that shit dick around me smelling like shit. So then I'm going to be all like, oh, God, what the fuck is that smell? God, go wash your dick. Jesus. Like, that's about the only thing you're ever going to hear from me on that whole situation, you fucking weirdos. You know what? I might be a child of God, but I'm not going to force you to be a child of God or whatever. It's not why I'm here. I'm here to enjoy the view and then just be like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? What the fuck? So anyways, where am I supposed to go with this one? So like, obviously people shouldn't be going after Crowder for his kids and shit like that. Like, I don't know why he brought his kids into this, but even more so, it almost sounds like he's trying to sue Candace Owens, which sounds really stupid. Like, what did Candace Owens did? She just did one video about Crowder after he pulled all that nonsense with the $50 million situation and recording phone calls, something that Candace Owens does on herself, right? And has released phone calls herself, even though she was totally mad at him. I mean, that is just like, goddamn. Like, it just feels so out of place, but it's not really out of place at all, considering the facts is that, you know, 5 days ago, right, Dave Landau, fellow comic, fellow Louder with Crowder co-host, basically unloaded on Crowder in a way that kind of just shows what's up. And holy shit, dude, we just got ourselves a super chat over on YouTube. Thanks, Bebop. Rumble Shoe knows how to pick them ridders. $2. Hey, man, don't talk shit about Rumble, man. They gave me a check mark. They didn't give me a check mark on Griftcast, but guess, look at this. They gave me a check mark on my channel over here. Look at that. If I go to Griftcast, oh, I got a fucking check mark now. I got a fucking check mark now. All right, sweet. I got a check. And then if I go here, also, if you search for Defango, you'll see that, you know, now I'm the only Defango. I'm the real Defango. Fuck this other bitch right here. Fucking Monty. I know that was you, you son of a bitch. But it's a cult, because you're the only one that has the orangutan picture like that. Like, that's your fucking fine ass troll work. I know that's you, Monty. I know that's you, Monty. But thanks, Bebop. They do know how to pick winners. They picked this winner to be verified right here, baby. Verified Defango, bitches. What now, fuckers? I talked a bunch of shit to Rumble to get it, but they finally gave it to me. So you know what? It's good. It's good. So that's where we were. I have two different articles that talk about the Dave Landau thing. We have one from this rando website, Hollywood something or other, and then we have this one from Timcast Media, which I think I'm going to go with the Timcast one because, you know, me and Timcast have had beef in the back. I'm never going to be on their show probably because I'm not cool enough to be a part of that gang. And I think Tim Pool still thinks that I'm a gang stalker or whatever, but, you know, it's fine. I applied to work there one time. I tried. Yeah, I tried. Yeah, Monty's still out there. He just has beef with way bigger people than me now, so, you know. I'm like, go Monty. You're fucking suing Ricada Law. I don't even give a shit if that lawsuit fucking wins or not. That shit's hilarious. So, yes. It was about 5 days ago that good old Dave Landau just started to discuss and show documentation from his contract working with Steven Crowder. And guess what? It showed what many of us already knew was that Steven Crowder's kind of a piece of shit and has shitty contracts. While he's out there complaining about contracts that he's getting for $50 million that he's not even planning on paying his co-hosts any part of it. Yes, any part of it. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? So I actually think I have a couple of different things to show you. Like, here's somebody that says, basically breaking it down in the best way possible, Steven Crowder betrayed his friend Jeremy Boring, mistreated Dave Landau, and now falsely accused Candace Owens for extortion. Now I get it. Divorce is one of the most painful things you can go through, especially if kids are involved and your ex is taking them away from you. Steven Crowder is lashing out in the wrong direction, though. Hopefully he gets some good counseling from trusted people. Acting out the way he is will not solve his very real problems. It will just create more, as it already has, which is literally what happened. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? What's up, Wiley Sal over there on fucking Kick? I see you over there, bro. Yeah, don't forget Not So Gay Jared. Oh, yeah, there was Not So Gay Jared. I completely forgot about Not So Gay Jared. Not So Gay Jared's another one of them. But then here's other guys like Jeremy from The Quartering. It's absolutely disgusting that people on the right will use Steven Crowder divorce as leverage against them to say, use it against them to embarrass them. Divorce happened. It doesn't even sound like it was his choice. You'd expect it from the left, but totally shameful from the right. Shut the fuck up, Jeremy, you stupid bitch. I mean, seriously, you can't even get your fucking various fucking YouTube channels with some fucking decent alerts and shit. Like you even know how to fucking live stream with your fucking StreamYard using ass. Shut up. Yeah. Nobody's making fun of him for getting divorced. Everybody's making fun of him for being a little bitch. Right? And I think it all really started with Dave Landau, right? Dave Landau's the one that opened up the can of wormy worms on good old Steven Crowdy Round. And I mean, let's just start viewing some of the clips. And to be perfectly fair, the clips do come from Michael Malice's podcast, The White Pill. And these two white guys, Michael Malice and Dave Landau, were talking shit about this black dude, Steven Crowder, because you know what? Officially, Steven Crowder's getting divorced. I mean, he's the closest to being a black guy that he ever was.
They wanted me there at 7 o'clock or 7:15 or 5:15. Yeah.
5:15?
Wow.
Yeah, it would depend on what they wanted to do that day. And I couldn't figure
Jeremy's
out, like,
simping for
I couldn't get
Steven.
into a rhythm of it. And they kept changing what they wanted to do, like what time, when to come in, what the thing was, what the job was, what the this, the that, and if you text me at 11 o'clock at night to write something, I'm going to be up until 1, maybe 2 writing it. If you text me at 6 o'clock and you want me there at 7, well, I need to write it, so I'm not going to get there until 8:15, but I don't go live until 9:15. But I wasn't treated as talent. I was kind of treated like, like more of a 9-to-5 employee, which I had zero interest in being.
Right.
Zero interest in being.
I didn't mind being a 24/7 employee, though, if that makes sense. Yes. I don't mind, always pitching the show. I had, ads made every day. I always was pumping it. I always talked about it. I always said good things. I met every fan that went to every show. I didn't mind being a 24/7 employee, but you want me to be there 9 to 5, and then you also want me to be there at 9 p.m. when you need me, and then you want me to be there at 6 a.m. when you need me. It's like, that's not what I'm there for.
Right.
I'm there to be your sidekick, which is fine. And then I'm there to write the things you want me to write. And it's cool. It's fine. But it was always, for somebody who always uses the term moving the goalpost, that's all it became. So we began touring together, and yes, it was very good money, and I paid Matt very well. But it always became something where nothing feels good, even if you're making money, if you're being treated like you don't deserve it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So the whole time it felt like this is everything that I have and it's being given to you. So even the whole tour, you just feel kind of like shit. And it doesn't really matter. You've just you're like, I'd rather just go back to clubs. I don't care. And we go on break in July. They wanted.
So first off, Dave Landau's first beef was that he was being treated as a 9-to-5 worker, as a slave, as opposed to being a co-host, right? He was the co-host of the show, but he was treated like he was a no-host of the show, okay? He's the guy that got Steven Crowder into stand-up, right? Steve used Dave to get back into stand-up. And he basically just shit on Dave because he was the one that was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where he wasn't even allowing Dave to promote Dave's shows for anywhere. Ah, yes. When you're the third chair, I guess that's what's going to happen to you, right? That's the problem. Is that what's going to be going down? I think actually, what's her face? Sent me something on here. Let me find it real quick. Beep, 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 beep. Anomaly. Next one. It was the next one. Okay, yes. Here's from Farron on Twitter. Well, this is funny to stumble upon going back through the old vote. I think Steve knows exactly how Dave feels. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Let's see.
Comedian Dave Landau talking about how Steven Crowder controlled how much stand-up Dave could do.
Dave is here every week unless he notifies us well in advance for a show, just like a doctor's appointment. Can't be gone any more than every third weekend.
So let's break this down also. Steven has started touring as a comedian.
Yes.
Steven is no dummy. Steven is very well aware that you and every comic, weekends are when you tour, hit the road, you make the money. So he is very clearly taking that secondary or even primary, possibly at this point, source of income from you, because you're just going to be sitting in Dallas for no reason, because it's not like you're doing shows on the weekends with Crowder.
Right. And gone every other third weekends means every 6 weeks.
But I'm sorry.
Every 6 weeks.
I just want to break this down. Was it ever said to you or intimated to you that your touring is affecting somehow your performance or writing for the main show?
So I'm always working. Like, there's not one assignment that I didn't turn in. The next thing is he's ready to start his own show by his own Friday show.
His own Friday show.
14th. So now I have a show every Friday for no extra money.
Let's break this down. So you are going to have your own show, which is a plus.
Yes.
But you're not getting paid a single dime to host your own new show on his network or his platform.
Correct.
And in fact, it's costing you money because now you can't be out,
Oh.
Doing 2 shows a Friday night in Tacoma or whoever the hell cares, some other city.
Oh.
I've never heard of that. I'm sorry. I've never heard of someone saying, I'm giving you your own show. You're not getting paid for it. I don't understand that.
Well, it's control, and that was kind of what bothered me. It was the I own you aspect. So basically, I have to give up my stand-up career.
Right.
10 years earlier, when Steven Crowder worked for Fox News.
Somebody
10
asked me
years?
one time, do you have an agent? And I said, what for?
Right. Yeah.
What the hell for?
It's funny. I did. I was with William Morris at a time, and then Paradigm merged
Yeah,
with
but
William
I mean,
Morris.
you're also in entertainment. I mean,
I haven't been able to. I haven't been able to with the Fox News thing, and that's kind of one thing we've talked, and that's where I've talked about some things that are going to be changing, and I'm making some announcements. I haven't been able to. I've been held so exclusively.
Held so exclusively.
In a way that is just unacceptable. Just unacceptable. For someone who's an entertainer who's their entire life done acting and stand up. So I always had an agent, and then my agent was like, listen, I can literally do nothing for you. I can make no money because this contract happened. I wasn't brought in on a contract. You can do nothing else. You can do nothing else.
Hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy. Wow. Yeah. So does Crowder really understand what's going on right now, or is he just kind of playing a really, really bad game with everyone? And that's what I think it is. It's the same thing that we saw a few months ago when he was pulling the Daily Wire shit that obviously didn't go very well for him. It didn't have the effect that he was deciding that it was going to have. And maybe it's this divorce thing that's really getting to him. I mean, nobody's brought it up. Except for him. He's the one that brought it into the zeitgeist, so to speak. So who's really at fault here for that? And even more so, going through what Dave Landau said about this entire situation really takes that entire thing that happened with the Daily Wire and flips it on its sides. We're looking at a straight juxtaposition of what we thought the situation was, because not only was Steven Crowder conning Dave Landau, is what it seems, according to, his utilizing his own verbiage on the Daily Wire situation. It's like it only gets worse. And you know how worse it gets? Well,
the thing that I'm seeing is company will enforce a strict 5-minute tardy policy. Contractor agrees that if he arrives to work more than 5 minutes late, he's in breach of Section 1, must leave company premises, and will not be compensated for the day the breach occurred. Contractor's breach of Section, and you can't seek reimbursement for the days the breach occurred. So I don't think they even have this at McDonald's, to be honest. Like, if you're 5 minutes late, like, pack your crap and go home. How would that even be addressed on the air? Like, where's Dave? Oh, Dave was 5 minutes late?
Yeah, they go, how can you prove that? Well, our watches are different. This is when I had to now start dumping money into entertainment lawyers. So a lot of the money that I even made on tour, bye.
Right.
So, that became another issue.
So the thing that I'm seeing.
Damn, Crowder, I thought you were like all in on like being cool with everybody and being a nice guy and stuff, but I guess not. I guess this is something completely different, right? Like, oh, woe is me. I need to completely change everybody's thoughts on me again. So I'm going to bring up the divorce thing because I ain't got nothing else.
And my agent came there. And this is another thing, I guess, I'm just kind of adding on, where my agent had come there. And the whole year I was like, look, he kind of wants me to be there on Fridays, even though he's not showing up. And my agent he's this gay Cuban dude who was like, well, if you're
gay
working
Cuban
with me,
dude,
you need to be working. So he would just always book my shows out, which I realized that my agent was booking, that even though I had asked my agent if he started repping Steven, I was never given a straight answer until obviously I figured out that night in Dallas, my agent had flown there to sign Steven. And now it was his bigger client. And I was told by him that he was really there. He's like, and even when I asked him at first, he's like, sign who? What do you mean work with them? I don't know what you mean work with them. What? It was sort of this very roundabout way until I realized, like, I keep getting fucked here. And I keep getting, like, less. I never get a bump and raise, and now things started getting progressively worse, where I could never promote my shows. All of a sudden, it got really bad to the point where my agent was yelling at me, and he'll watch this and get pissed, and I don't give a shit. But he would.
Would he literally raise his voice? Also,
my agent was screaming at me, and that's when he and I fired him once, and it was already. He was screaming at me in my car. He's like, "Go in there and do your job," and I go, "I am doing my job." I go, "That's the problem. Is I've always done my job."
That's the problem. I've always done my job. Oh, did you know that Dave Landau's manager signed Steven Crowder to be a comedian for him, and then started giving Steven Crowder all the big jobs, and then Dave Landau started not getting any work and wasn't able to go on any tours and had to just work for Steven Crowder, and nobody sees that there's some funny business going on over here, maybe? Yeah. It's basically like this meltdown that Steven Crowder is having is totally self-inflicted. Nobody's inducing this on him. Candace Owens doesn't have anything to do with this shit. It's all him, baby. It's all fucking him. It's all him. It's all been him since the very, very beginning. You know, like, I feel like people have been talking about stuff like this with Crowder for a while now. I mean, it was 4 years ago over on BreadTube subreddit. Was Blair talking about Steven Crowder recently on Vouch's stream about Crowder being a white nationalist? A commenter mentioned that Blair Wright, the trans YouTuber who has been on with many conservative shows, made a video alleging that multiple conservative pundits told her personally that they don't believe in the things they say in front of the camera. That commentator thinks it was about Crowder, but I feel it was about Dave Rubin and more. For one, Steven has been a staunch conservative for years that he has started out as. I don't think that he's ever changed his views on anything. I believe he's being funded by big Republican donors, of course, because his show got big over the years and he seems to be able to afford multiple things like travel and lawyers. Yeah. Wasn't there something going on with that? And yeah, there was actually something going on with that. Because it was 3 years ago that Blair White did a video trying to expose Steven Crowder, given the truth about Steven Crowder, and it had all to do with the Carlos Mazza situation. If you guys don't remember, Gay Wonk, which was what he called himself on Twitter, he was very, very angry with Steven Crowder for hurling racist, homophobic taunts his way as a gay reporter, and they were very pissed that the company, meaning YouTube and the other various platforms that Steven Crowder was associated, they were just pissed off that he didn't do anything. They were like, you should get rid of these guys. And it did cause kind of a stir to the point where even this little thing right here came out at one particular point.
Let me take off the clown mask now. I am afraid of not being deserving of this platform. I think I often feel undeserving. I'm afraid of mistakes that I've made which have harmed others, and I don't necessarily know what they are. I'm afraid, frankly, I used to have a bad temper. I'm afraid of it coming back. I'm afraid of Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. That was a short phase.
Mr. Hyde rearing his ugly bisexual head. Did you know Steven Crowder has a alternative personality? He's got Dr. Jekyll, which is the regular Steven Crowder, and then he's got Mr. Hyde, something that he himself invented for himself, who's apparently a raging homosexual of some kind. Not exactly sure what that's all about. Yeah. Not sure what that's all about, but I figured I would just put it out there, you know, maybe there's some more to the story. Some people say, oh, well, Steven Crowder's gay. Maybe he is, maybe isn't. I don't know.
LGBT side thinks that there is a huge bias against LGBT content, for which I will say, anytime I put transgender in the title or tags of any of my videos, and I'm transgender, the video does get demonetized. So that does exist. And then right-wing YouTube thinks that there's a huge bias against them, for which I think that there is ample evidence that right-wing content gets suppressed and demonetized very easily as well. I just really don't have any respect for Matza, who wants to clutch his pearls when he's insulted online, but works for a publication that routinely tries to destroy people and has Tucker Carlson is a white supremacist in his Twitter bio. They started with all the more extreme ones, the Milos, the Alex Joneses, the Laura Loomers, And they really are moving down to the people who are a lot more moderate, which, say what you want about Steven Crowder, you can think he's a jerk. He is a pretty standard Republican. And to everyone who thinks that I have...
He is a pretty standard Republican. Interestingly enough, Blair White actually... he said that Steven Crowder was just a regular Republican. She is probably one of the only people that has come forward basically saying that out of all of the cons in the conservative game, Steven Crowder was like one of the only ones that didn't seem to have any weird proclivities or wearing a mask or anything or whatever. So who knows? Maybe Blair White will be at the Daily Wire one day. I just don't think that that's going to fit the conservative message that so-and-so is trying to put out. What's this? Oh, and Benjamin? When Steven Crowder asked me to perform with him in Michigan, I said, of course, because he was the team leader and we were going to own the left. We worked on a song making fun of transgenderism right before the show time. They put me in tight white pants and a bedazzled cape, and he wore a Speedo and leather chaps. I'm a natural Bravo, not an alpha, despite appearing very dominant in most scenarios, so I followed the team leader's decision, even though it didn't make sense to me. How was dressing like a degenerate fruitcakes owning the left? I agreed, so I'm no victim, but I felt very uncomfortable saying no and didn't want to let the team down. Over time, I realized more and more that they weren't owning anyone, and I was just being asked to wear really degrading and sexualizing outfits. It's the main reason I don't focus on whatsoever on what religion or political association someone claims, the only behavior, because the only thing Steven Crowder is owning is a bunch of dresses and a broken home. Change my mind. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I kind of feel like there's a little bit of strangeness happening here in this situation, but, let's not forget, guys, Steven Crowder got his political career started on Fox News with Amy Schumer. Yep, that's what happened. There's little baby Crowder right there before he had his facial hair and everything else. It was the big man he has these days. He owes it all to good old Amy Schumer and Fox News. Kind of weird how all that works out, doesn't it? You guys remember that? You know about that shit? But don't worry. Some people still kind of pointed out that they've seen Steven Crowder cross-dressing more times than they've seen drag queens in their entire life, which is where I got the actual picture of Steven Crowder in a dress for the thumbnail, because you know what? He definitely has spent a lot of time doing that cross-dressing thing, and I don't know what that's all about. I don't know what it's all about, but really, to put it out there, the serfs and some of the leftists are saying, Steven Crowder claiming Candace Owens may be extorting him over his divorce. Elon Musk may be playing a role. What? Steven Crowder accused me of extortion so patently insane that it honestly makes me question on how there are still people who cannot see through undone this he's become. This is not stable behavior. He's a man on a spiral. Outright bizarre and concerning. To remind people, the video Steven used is a show of me from the video responding to Steven's first set of bizarre attacks against the Daily Wire. Steven is not the victim. He never was the victim. He's just a bad person that continues to burn a lot of people. If you're going to use your children as human shields to block people from digging further into your bores, please do so without inserting me into your narrative. Yeah. I don't understand how this is actually a thing, right? This is really the thing that's actually going through. It's really about the divorce. Shameful. Shameful, you guys. It's a shameful situation. Shameful situation. So, well, what do we really have to break down about this entire situation? Well, looks like Steven Crowder is having a meltdown. 100%. It looks like Steven Crowder tried to use his divorce and children as a shield for people making fun of him on the internet, only drawing everybody's attention to this is actually the thing that's happening. And he got completely exposed by Dave Landau, basically being one of the largest hypocrites that's ever known to man, because while he was complaining and crying about the Daily Wire making him a slave allegedly and trying to control everything about him, he was doing it the same thing to the guy that helped him get his leg up and in all this stuff in the first place. Isn't that just amazing? Yeah, isn't that just amazing? So I guess, what do we have to say? Well, the Streisand effect is about to be engaged in a very, very big way for Mr. Steven Crowder, and I think that depending on how he decides he's going to move forward with this, it's going to be a horrible situation for him, irregardless of whatever direction that he goes through, because he definitely seems to be having quite the meltdown, and I don't think him attacking anybody else over this thing is really going to do anything. I mean, Candace Owens didn't even come forward and say any of this stuff many months ago. There was definitely no threats to releasing any of that, and all that had to do with was him recording phone calls secretly, something that Candace Owens herself has done in the past. So what do we really have to say other than, damn, isn't it just weird how all these rich suckers always be having problems and the rest of us just got to sit back and kind of wonder, why is this happening? Why is this going on? And if you enjoy what we do here, I obviously like you guys to press that like button, subscribe, share this with your friends, hit the follow button, do all that good stuff. But basically, this episode's done for today. I got some other things I need to go do right now. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Other than that, it's only Tuesday, so we damn well know that the news is probably going to get a lot crazier in the days moving forward. I think so. I definitely think so. So, later. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. Go home now or do whatever you do now. Bye. See you later. Peace. Leave the kids out of it. Steven, stop trying to use your kids to get clout